I was scrambling every day at 6 o'clock. And so I talked to my mom, and we remembered how she used to sit down every week and make a plan for the week of what we were going to have for dinner, and she'd make a grocery list and shop once a week. I thought, all right, well, what I'm doing now is clearly not working. I'm going to try her method. And once I tried the weekly planning method, it was astounding how much less stressful my life became. For people who want to make healthy dinners for their family, but they don't have the time, or it's too stressful, or the skills to figure out what to make every day, I send them a plan for the week, like the workouts of what to make for dinner with all the recipes and side dishes and a grocery list. And they can customize it if they want to, but it gives them a place to start. And that way they can shop once a week and not have to run to the store with a baby and a basket and all that stuff that's so challenging.
You can tinker so much with your business and making it better and improving it, but really marketing and selling it is huge. So you can have the best product in the world and everyone loves it, but if you're not actively selling and marketing, then you won't make any money.
First you have your idea, and you write it down, maybe you write out some things about it, and then you refine your idea. You talk to people about, as Shay said, you talk to your target audience, you talk to your friends, you ask everybody, and you keep open ears and an open mind, and continue to refine your idea. And you look for competitors. Who else is doing things in this space? How are they doing? You can't always tell how they're doing, but what are they doing? How would my product be different from what's already out there? How would it be complementary, potentially, to something that's already out there? In our case, we have very complementary businesses, and we plan to co-market our businesses because people who are interested in healthy eating for their families are also probably interested in quick, easy workouts. I find that a lot of times people who haven't started a business, who have an idea, they'll say, okay, there's 350 million people in America. If just 1% of them could buy my product, I'd have it made. And I was thinking, you know how hard it is to get 1% of 350 million people to buy your product? Well, both of us have membership models where we charge people a recurring fee to use our site and to become members of our site. And they're auto-renewed. For some people, it's a monthly membership. For some people, it's, for me, one thing that I learned from my business mentor is you try to figure out, there's a lot of numbers that you have to sort of go once you get your business up and running. And one of the key numbers that you try to find out is your customer's lifetime value. If that customer's lifetime value, I especially have very low dollar, so I need high volume. My business only costs $3 to $7 a month for people, so I need volume. And so what I realized was I had a certain customer lifetime value, an average. And so one of my business mentors, and it's always a great idea to get some mentors and listen to them, said, well, why don't you create a product, like a deal that's irresistible, an irresistible offer for 2 years that is still more than they probably would ever pay. So they're going to be they can't resist that deal. So there's some things like that you can do playing around with pricing. One thing that I've also realized in having a business is it's good to have multiple revenue streams. So you can't, that way if something goes wrong with this one, or if you want to build. So one of the things that I've done as my business has grown is I work with corporations, I work with brands, I found different ways that I can bring my expertise and my audience into making money in other ways, freelance writing, whatever, about my topic with my, all branded, speaking to groups.
Well, the customer lifetime value is, if you have a customer and they come back for repeat business, how often do they come back before they stop? And so that's particularly the case for membership sites. So if we have someone who subscribes for 3 months, 6 months, 3 to 6 months is pretty much the average for subscription sites. And so you can say, based on how much that is, let's say you get $100 before they say, I'm done, I don't really want this anymore. And so let's say that's $100. You can then give them a better deal, so that would give them 6 months, let's say. So you can say, well, we'll give you 2 years, but you'll pay $110.
One thing I've learned is to question everything. Not that I want to be a control freak, I love delegating, but if somebody tells me something is so, I often want to confirm it, especially when it comes to data. Because one thing can be off a little bit and it changes everything, and suddenly your numbers are, so you have to sort of look at things and be able to figure out if it really makes sense, if you think those whatever it is actually correct.
And when you're starting your business and you're small like I am, I do it all manually. I can just go in and look. But as you grow, I think it gets a lot harder when you have thousands and thousands of customer. So
That when somebody comes to your site, most people are not going to be buyers the first time. First, you need to have a site that works and that can people, sometimes I see people with this site that they put so much work in and they have so much love for it. The checkout process sucks, and they're probably losing half their customers at the checkout process. That's key. I mean, you have to look at it from the customer experience.
Look at Amazon.
You have to capture what you want to do. There's a conversion rate. You want to try to capture people who come to your site so that you can continue to market to them. So what people say is another sort of irresistible offer. What you'll see on a lot of websites that are somewhat sophisticated in marketing is they'll say, not just sign up here for our mailing list, they'll say, enter your email address here to get our free, 10 mistakes you should never make when it comes to X, or, for me, I'll have different giveaways. My goal in doing that is to capture their email address, because then I have a better chance, and then they enter what's called my sales funnel. And I then have a series of emails that goes to them to try to convince them to become members of my site. If I don't succeed, which happens 94% of the time or something, then they become part of my overall mailing list, which I can still market to, even if they're not going to buy my product, or they might at some point. I can market complementary products to them in sort of affiliate marketing. When somebody joins my site, you have to make sure that your what's called an onboarding process is very smooth, so that people are welcomed, things work for them. You want to engage them quickly in whatever your membership site is, so that they're actually using your site, because it's like a gym. People go and they have the best intentions, and then they think, oh, I'm kind of tired today. So if you don't kind of get them engaged, they're less likely to be users. And if they're less likely to be users, first of all, your mission isn't being accomplished, and they're less likely to renew.
I would say that's one of the benefits of having an online business, is you don't really have to be a techie. There are people that can help with that. But like Aviva said, with capturing your audience, I have something similar on my homepage. When someone goes and puts in their name and email address, they get a free workout video. And then that's a way that you can keep in touch with customers, that I think is a lot harder with in-person businesses. If you walk into a gym, someone tries it for free, well, maybe you got their information, maybe you didn't. And I think with online businesses, it's a lot easier.
But I found out that I was going to be covered in Oprah magazine, and that's huge. But the great thing about being covered in a magazine is a few months in advance. So that was when I said, you know what, now I'm going to build a great website. I'm going to build it, and it turned out to be the right thing to do, and I got thousands of customers from that one article. So, but I was glad that I hadn't, it was I knew that was the right time to invest. I was volunteering at a school event, and I was standing next to a woman. We were both kind of bored, and I told her about my business, and I said, I'm so desperate. I feel like I have this great business, and it's just I'm not getting the word out. And I think people really love it. And she said, oh, my brother's best friends with the food editor at Oprah Magazine. Do you want me to contact her? So that was how I got an Oprah Magazine. So, some stuff, I keep up with my contacts. I tell people what I need. I help other people. And I think that those things come around back to you. I get an affiliate commission for selling something to my list that I don't have to do any work except hosting her webinars. And I believe it's something I always preview anything I sell to my list first. I believe it's a great program. I would never sell anything to I think trust is really important. So if I didn't love it, I wouldn't do it, but I make thousands and thousands of dollars each year passively, pretty much, by hosting her webinars. The standard for at least a membership site, which I had to sort of come to terms with, is auto renewal. And first I thought, I just want people to be there because they want to be there. Well, I do want people to be there because they want to be there, and I warn them before they get charged, and I refund them if we charge them and they really didn't want to be charged. But you're not going to succeed in the business if you're not auto renewing people. In terms of a membership site.
One of the things with PayPal is you never want people to leave your website for anything, and so with PayPal they press pay, or they press buy, then they go to PayPal, and let's say they X out of their shopping cart. If they were on your website, you can track all of that, but if they go to PayPal, you have no idea how many people.
Now I have a merchant processing system that you would never have heard of. It's called CyberSource, and I don't know if they're not necessarily the best, but they're the ones I used at the time that matched my technology.
There are so many ways to get traffic to your site. Writing new content is a great way to do it, so constantly be updating what you have on there. So I have trying to do weekly blogs that go out to my list. You can do search engine optimization, so putting in keywords that people search for.
Which isn't so simple, because you have to figure out what are the keywords not only that are going to drive people to your site, but that are going to drive people to your site who are buyers, who are the right kind of people. Like if I had chicken parmesan all over my site, I'd get a lot of people who are looking for chicken parmesan recipes, but they're not looking for a solution to their stressful dinner time problems. So I may find a word that's more specific and gets less traffic overall, but it may be more targeted. So that's sort of the targeted traffic.